Okay, this problem involves the use of a triangle. So it says that the base of a triangle is 8 inches more than 3 times its height. Area of the triangle is 190 square inches. So what is the height and the base? So what are the base and the height? Okay. So first of all, let's remind ourselves what the formula for area of a triangle is. And so the area is 1/2 the base times the height. And if we draw a little triangle here, we know nothing about the height, right? We know something about the base, but we don't know anything about the height. So the height, this is our, I'm going to call that h. That's going to be our unknown, okay? And the base is 8 inches more than 3 times the height. So 3 times the height would be 3h. And then if it's 8 inches more, then you add 8. So there's the picture that shows our triangle. We're going to substitute into our equation. Now the area was given, it was 190 square inches. So I'm going to write 190 equals 1/2. And then the base is this quantity 3h plus 8. And the height is h. Okay. Now one of the things that I don't like is this half here. So what I'm going to do first to make life easier is that I'm going to multiply by 2/1, the reciprocal. I'm going to multiply by 2 because then here I'm going to have a 1. 2/1 times 1/2 is 1. So I'm going to have 3h plus 8 times h, and then over here I have 380. Okay, but now I don't have a fraction, so I like that. Let's distribute the h, put over here. So 3h squared plus 8h, and then I'm going to subtract that 380 equals 0. All right, so now these are big numbers. Shall we do quadratic formula? Let's do that. All right, so h equals the opposite of b. So b is your positive 8, right? So the opposite of b plus or minus square root b squared, just is 8 squared. So that's 64 minus 4, and then 8 times c. That's a big number, isn't it? 3 times negative 380. So I think we need to get our calculator back out. So let's get our calculator back out. So that was what? 3 times 380. So 1140. Negative, right? All over 2 times a, or 2 times 3, which is 6. Once again, let's go ahead and use the positive root of this. So we're going to go ahead and use the calculator since it's here. And so we get, I'm going to actually simplify that radicand, that discriminant. If you remember that that's what is called the radical, what's inside the radical in a quadratic formula. I'm going to figure that out first. 64, and then I have minus 4 times negative 1140. Okay, let's see what that gives us. That gives us 4,624. So we're going to take the square root of this guy, right? So let's do that. So let's actually do the whole thing. We're going to do negative 8 plus square root 4624 divided by the 6 and see what we get. Oh, we get 10. Nice. So h equals 10. And so then that's our height. So then what's the base? Well, remember the base was 3 times the height plus 8. 3h plus 8, right? So 3 times 10 plus 8, so 38. So 38 inches, right? And the height is 10 inches because everything's in inches in this problem. Yes? And so let's check that. Will that give us one, if we do the area, if we do 1/2 of the base times the height, 1/2 of 38 times 10. So yeah, let's see, 1/2 of 10 is 5. 5 times 38 is 190.